Hi, everyone out there in the world of YouTube, or wherever it is you may be checking out this clip or listening to the intro, maybe on another platform like Instagram, Facebook. But if that's the case, head on over to YouTube and watch the full video. And it's short today because in this edition of the JCLPAA series, I'm going to give you a little tidbit insight on which order to take the 4-part CPA exam and my opinion on joining and or forming a study group to help you pass the exam. So my name is Jacqueline Anderson, and again, this is a little short clip, or short video, I should say, in the JCLPAA series. And this is a series where I just give my opinion on some things related to the CPA experience and exam. I'll start with which order to take the 4-part exam. You have FAR, which is Financial and Accounting Reporting, BEC, which is Business Environmental Concepts, REG, also known as Regulation, and that encompasses tax law and the tax code. And the other one is auditing, which is self-explanatory. I will say FAR is by far the hardest exam. So I will start with FAR. If I was anyone getting ready to start this journey, I would start with what's historically known to be the most difficult and probably has the lowest pass rates out of all 4 sections. Because once you pass the first section, the clock starts ticking and you have 18 months to pass the other 3 parts. So I would say get FAR out of the way, because starting with another section, you may pass, but then find difficulty passing FAR and possibly lose credit. So for me, I would say start with FAR. Then after that, take BEC. It is underestimated because the material is relatively short or much less compared to the beast of FAR, which has so much information. Again, the reason why you probably would start with that. But BEC has a lot of somewhat confusing concepts, but relatively less complicated, I will say, than FAR. So get that one out of the way, and that may give you some momentum and inspiration to keep going if you can pass those 2, and then go with audit, which I've heard is somewhat easier between BEC and audit, because audit can be tricky, because that it is so crazy, because I've heard some instructors say it's not the right answer, it's the best answer out of all the multiple choice. So you might have 4 choices, A, B, C, and D, but you have to choose the best or the most correct answer, because 2 of them could possibly be right. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's one of the easier exams. And I would say end with REG, because out of all 4 parts, that's the one that doesn't really change. It's dependent on the tax code and the law. So you somewhat have memorization on your side, and it's the easiest to comprehend because you're reading the information. And as long as you can commit it to memory and understand the concept, it's pretty straightforward, as opposed to analyzing and thinking critically, which is required with FAR. If I was anybody starting out on this journey, I would start with FAR and end with REG. In between, you could go audit, BEC for test 2 or test 3. But if I was you, I would start with FAR to get that one out of the way. And I will say FAR includes some of the same concepts that you will run into with audit, BEC, and regulation. So if you can get FAR under your belt, it's smooth sailing. It is probably the hardest section out of all 4 parts. And don't forget, and I've said it on this channel, and if you are a CPA candidate or someone who is an experienced CPA, you know, and it's no joke, that exam, but it's documented amongst all credentialed exams in the world. Becoming a CPA and passing a 4-part exam is the most difficult credentialed exam in the world compared to the medical boards and the bar exam. I haven't taken any of those 2, but I'm sure it is, because it has low pass rates. And there are doctors everywhere and lawyers everywhere. CPAs, Black CPAs, remember, we're underrepresented, less than 1%. So it has to be a difficult road and hard exam. So for those of you on the journey, keep going. there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do this. So moving on to my next topic in this edition of JCLPAA series. Should a CPA candidate join a study group? Yes and no, for different reasons, aside from the obvious reason. I am not a fan of study groups, but they have their place. I would say join a study group if you need a support system, cheerleader along the way, some encouragement to know you're not in this struggle alone. And also a place to take your major issues with certain concepts or certain material, but to partner up with a group of people to have a study plan and to stay on track. I would not go that route, because people learn at a different pace. They have different routines and they go at a different rate. And this journey and overall exam process is too important to be distracted or thrown off track and lose progress depending on other people or another person. I would say don't even partner with anybody. You need to stay on track and have enough discipline to study on your own, because study groups sometimes get bogged down or canceled. If they get bogged down on one question or one concept, I'm not quite sure the benefit if there's something you've already mastered. So again, you should have your own individualized study plan and join a study group, again, for the support system, because you're going through a difficult situation or like experiences and shared experiences, so you can be there to cheer each other on, and also a place where you can present certain concepts or certain material that you may be having difficulty with, or you may be there to encourage someone else and give some insight on the concept that you were able to master. So that's my take on if you should form or even join a study group. Now take it for what it is, but and map out your own plan. But that's just my take, because somebody asked me my opinion, so I thought I'd record a video on it. And also the order of exams. It's up to you, but just know whatever you decide to do, stick with it. And if being a CPA is on your list of things to accomplish in this lifetime, go for it, because there's nothing you can't do. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So with that, remember who you are and whose you are, and there's no time like the present. So at the time of recording this video, which is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020, we're hopefully on the other side of the pandemic now. It's almost Christmas, so happy holidays, happy New Year, and ring it in with a smile. See you next time.